Hello and welcome back to the Average Joe podcast. Of course, I'm your host here, Joe, and today we're talking de-discipline and maybe men should get a vasectomy because this will just do you a service for yourself because maybe you're not ready and you can have the opportunity to reverse this. So when you're ready to be a husband, ready to be a father, and ready to step up to the plate, then you can take on that journey and you have the chance because so many men are out there and so many children, first of all, that are growing up in single parent households due to a 10-minute night or an indiscretion with somebody you weren't ready to make a mother, somebody you didn't see yourself with long term, and that you didn't see yourself making an 18-year commitment with. It was, a fling. It was a friend with benefits. It was, your girlfriend for the meantime. It was, whatever it was. It wasn't something that you planned for an 18-year, a lifelong commitment. And you're doing your child, more than anything, a disservice that they're not growing up, with your full undivided attention. You're not growing up in a stable, healthy two-parent household because, the mother's having to do it on her own and the father's over here doing this and, moved on, and then you wonder why so many bitter women are out there because I thought we were in this for the long haul, and then you just dropped something in me, and then you went off and you created another life for yourself, and then now I'm still paying the burden of being the father and the mother to the child. And then you saw in the episode of The Game where Tasha Mack, she was your single mother, got with a guy who wasn't ready to be a father, and then left her, and then she was just bitter, scorned, and really heartbroken that she had to take on and tackle on this responsibility. She had to become the strong Black woman, and of course it worked out in her favor, and she produced a good child. But you saw what he lacked even as he grew up into his adulthood. You saw he struggled in himself. And he ended up being a mama's boy. He lacked that self-control because he didn't have a positive male role model. He didn't have somebody there. He didn't have the person at that. He's just a sperm donor. And this isn't just fair for the generations to come. Those shouldn't be our examples. Those shouldn't be what happens out there. It shouldn't be every girl we know, or we know somebody who's just a single mother. It's not fair to the kids, to the generation. It's not fair to be that inflation is high and taxes are through the roof, 30% over here, and then we have so many of our people on Section 8 and social welfare and food stamps and all these things because there's no father around. Because and think about it. If you got the vasectomy, it's your form of birth control. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you to protect yourself out there. I'm not just dropping off and I'm not impregnating somebody I don't want to be with. Because you hear the dudes like, oh, dang, I didn't want you. I'm with this other person. I didn't plan for this. We was just kicking it or whatever. It's not fair. So just take yourself as each other. Oh, I thought she was on birth control. She told me this, or I pulled out, or oh no, she got a plan B, or we went to get an abortion. All these things could be avoided. Because men hold so much power. You're the one that gets the woman pregnant, of course. And again, it takes two to tango, and I'm not here to defend either side. Because you women, you're gonna get your own. But men, we're talking you right now. It's you kind of hold that power. So why not hold it and control it? You should be out here practicing self-control and self-discipline, even on your own. And even as a man, it's not right that you got with somebody that you knew you didn't plan long-term with. And then when she started to act out or behave in a certain way, when she got pregnant, you act surprised or shocked or it's just perplexing that she did. It's that's what happens. We all know that when you have sex, there's a very good chance you might, especially when you have unprotected. It's not rocket science. And even when people say, oh, I didn't know I got pregnant, how? It's not rocket science. It didn't just come in or happen out of nowhere. Oh, he pulled out, or I took a plan B, or I was on birth control, or he had a condom, or the condom broke, or whatever the excuses. Those are just excuses. And, men, you have the chance and the opportunity to control it, to be in control. As your man, you should be in control. You should value yourself more than to sit around and be like, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 different baby mamas. or getting pregnant 1, 2, 3 by accident, or I was 18, 19, 20 years old, 25, and I didn't mean to get her, and I hadn't got my life or my thoughts together, and now you had the chance to wait to when you are ready, when you're ready to be a man, when you're ready to step onto the plate to be a father, because we need more fathers out there. This is it's not fair to the generations to come, and that we've had so many generations that have preceded us that have just been single mothers and living a carefree lifestyle, or that's, oh well, my mom was a single mom, so I'm okay to be a single mom, or it's passed down. And it's not something we should ever be championing. And men should, if you have a chance, you have an opportunity, why not? And for you, if I think about it, if I were a guy and I had the chance to make sure that I could not get some girl pregnant, some shorty pregnant, I think I would probably take the chance. I'd probably wait until I'm at least 25, then I can, reverse it and then, get onto the dating market. Because imagine the mindset that you had back then. And all the guys who even had children at those young ages, they could tell you that they were not ready. They weren't financially ready. They weren't emotionally ready. They weren't physically. They weren't with the person that they were supposed to be. It's so many moving factors. And we can't just be like, oh, it's a child and it's a blessing. Of course, children are a blessing. It's all that. But we owe our children to give them a stable, happy, healthy household to grow up, so that we're breeding a generation of people who have a fighting chance. Because when you grow up in a single parent household, or you grow up with those adversities, it's a little bit harder. It's harder on the mother, and it's hard for a single mother. You making how much to take care of a child. The kids are expensive. They need things, especially if you want to give them everything, or you want to give them a proper environment, or you want to do right by them. It's very expensive. The diapers and everything from that baby shower wear off after some time, and you start paying it on your own, and it's not cheap. Those baby formulas are not cheap. It's not cheap. So it's a very full-on responsibility. So men should be making sure that, because you don't bear the burden of having the child, it doesn't negate you from, making sure that you're not doing that to the children. And we see what happens. These kids, the dudes go out looking for father figures, and people who don't know no better either go out to their uncles or their older brothers or the older cousins or somebody else who don't know no better either. And the father's in jail, or he's out here doing something else, or whatever it may be. It's a disservice to the child. The women end up going out looking for father figures in men, and end up, shows and prostitutes and, hoes and whatever, and don't know what it's like, how you're supposed to treat a man, or how a man's supposed to treat you, or, how you're supposed to, maintain your wifely duties, or, your womanly responsibilities. You weren't shown these things. Your mom, the women are growing up to be men because the mom's like the man and the woman, and she's scorned and bitter and all that, and it's because of you. It's man, it's and why put that burden on yourself too? Why do you have to get out there? You don't have to pay child support. Imagine being free of child support. Imagine having that, because that's eating and running you dry, and that makes you so mad and so bitter and so whatever, so angry. You get frustrated because man, they taking this money out of my paycheck, or I got to give this girl $5,000, $100, or $500 of this or whatever. And it doesn't matter if you are rich or you are poor, or mediocre, or middle class, or whatever the case may be. This is something for all, because if you were rich, why would you go out and just impregnate anybody? And now this woman's coming after you for $20,000 and $10,000. Look at PJ Washington. I know he's upset. Blessing to his son and everything. He's happy all about that. But then he's thinking about now I'm going to have to give this woman how much every month? All of them will tell you child support's a killer. Because you're just how much I have to give? And they go by the paperwork. It's oh, you make $5 million? Okay, well, we want a hefty piece of that. Even if you make 50, even the middle class man, imagine you were a $60,000, $70,000 guy, and they're taking that. So you're not even you're really a you're really a $40,000-$50,000 guy. And then you haven't even start talking about taxes and all of that. So how much are you really making? It bleeds you dry. And it's something that is preventable. It's something that you have a choice on. Getting a vasectomy. You guys, this is discipline. Discipline. You should know who you are. Stop putting your D into it. Make sure that that's somebody you possibly see yourself, especially if you're raw dogging it out here. Come on, you guys. Your pull-out game and all that's not that great. You know better. Come on. It was just fun for the night. She was a good girl. She had the big booty. She had the BBL, right? She was beautiful. All those things, of course. But you didn't sign up for 18 years for that. So do yourself a service, because it's really just, it's not fair to, again, the generations. Like, it's not fair to my tax dollars. Like, I shouldn't have to be paying for Section 8 through the roof and food stamps, and like it's literally not fair. And even, like, we'll get to you women later, but we'll just brush up on you guys. But like, come on, like, if a guy already has 2, 3 other baby mamas, what makes you think you're number 4 and you're gonna just be just so special? He's just gonna do you just so right. Come on, we see Future, we see, NBA Youngboy, we see Country Wayne, we see like a lot of these, with Nick Cannon, and so many of them. Like, come on, ladies, we should have a little bit of P responsibility. We'll talk about that on another topic, but I think I should just say this because, like, I think that men should probably consider it. Like, maybe they didn't know, like, hey, you can get it snip, and then unsnipped and, re-snipped and snipped. You could do it multiple times. We saw that episode of The Office, if you're true Office fans. But, I think that it's something that they should consider, because it's not fair, again, to our children. It's not fair to the women. You can't be calling them bitter and all those things, because like you perpetuated it. You weren't ready to be a father, and I think you should wait when you're ready to be a husband and you're ready to be a father. You're ready to be there for your kids and be there, and tackle on that responsibility, because so many kids are out here so lost, and being brought up in households and situations and things that they didn't really ask for, and they're getting the short end of the stick. And this is like a community thing. I feel like this is just so much like in our community, because this is who I'm speaking for. Us, like a lot of people out here, like our kids and everybody, like they necessarily don't deserve this. So we got to do better. So men, do better out here. You have you're supposed to be leaders and setting examples for us, and you should be wanting your legacy to be in the right place. Like, if you don't see yourself with that woman, you don't see yourself in that situationship, one night shouldn't really change the whole trajectory of your life like that, especially when it could be very much preventable. She didn't put a gun to your head and make you do something. You willingly did everything. It was all fun and games, and now you're paying the responsibility. The women thirst, the thirst trapping, and you getting the child support. That should just be the first waiver. But, and again, the kids. But I have on my notes, but, just wrapping this up, what do you guys think out here? Like, hey, when guys, like, you turn 18, like, you should, maybe consider, the options out there, getting a vasectomy, or at any age or any time, just because, like, hey, would you want her pregnant? Like, especially, look at your baby mama right now. Like, if you could take it back, like, I would have waited to have chosen the girl maybe I'm with now. Maybe the wife that I'm with now wouldn't have wanted to, be in, that situation. Even, celebrities that have, like, extramarital affairs and they end up getting the girl pregnant and things like that. I know they wish, like, look at the way it's like, dang, like, okay, come on now. I have all that when I could have just had everything with me and Gabrielle and all. It'd just be, you see, temporary decisions, costing 18 plus years, a lifetime, you guys. But like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you think. Am I crazy? Men should not be getting the vasectomy out here. Let them spread their seed all crazy. Or maybe it should be a consideration, or, maybe it's something, they didn't know or they never thought of. Cause like, hey, it is very much reversible. You could snip, unsnip, re-snip, or whatever. But, but thank you for tuning in to That Average Joe podcast. Please stay tuned for more. Like, comment, and subscribe.